Hi there stampers, it's Eleanor McGarry, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a bay window card using one of the new designer series papers called Flowering Fields from the new January to June 2022 mini catalog. As well, we will be using the new stamp set called Flowering Rain Boots and the coordinating Rain Boots dies. Before we get going, these are the pieces you're going to need, and you can take a screenshot of this for you to look at later. This is the new mini catalog for January to June 2022. This is the lovely cover here. And we are going to be working today with products from the new catalog. I can't show you the inside yet until next year, and since I'm sharing this video with you in December, I can't open it and show you the inside, but we are going to be using this stamp set from the catalog called Flowering Rain Boots. As well, we will also be using the matching Rain Boots dies that come with the bundle. So if you buy the bundle, if you buy them together, you will save 10% off. So that would be the way to go if you wanted to save a little bit of money. As well, we are going to be using the pattern paper also from the catalog called Flowering Fields. And as you can tell, it comes in, there's going to be 6 double-sided sheets, so you will get 12 different patterns altogether. Very beautiful, floral themed. This one's just polka dots on Poppy Parade. More flowers, and of course, as always, the flip side of all our pattern paper are more generic, so you could use them for general cards, not necessarily flower themed if you want to use them in a different way. So this is the Flowering Fields designer series paper, which we will also be using today to make our projects. So we start with our base card, which is Calypso Coral, measuring 11 inches wide and 4 1/4 is in your height. And we're going to go ahead and take our paper trimmer, and we're going to score this to create our score lines. And we will be scoring at 3/8 is the first score mark. So 1, 2, 3, right there. Remember, your gray blade is to score and your darker blade is to cut, so flip that away. So 3/8, and then 1 7/8 will be the next one. And then 3 5/8, and then 5 1/8, and the last one will be at 5 1/2. So once I've done that, I just like to take my bone folder and make sure all those lines are nice and burnished. And I would like to just fold it back and forth like this, and then I will go over it again later the other way. So again, I just want to make sure that everything is properly burnished. So I'm doubling up on the use of the bone folder here. And I'm happy with the way that is all burnished now. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and protect our surface with our silicone mat, and we're going to go ahead and add your pattern paper. So as you can tell, the widest panel is the middle one, so that will be for your 1 1/2 by 4 inch piece of pattern paper. And then either side of this are the ones that measure 1 1/4 by 4 inches. That'll go on either side. So that's the beginning, the outside of our card. These two we're gonna keep until later because they go on the inside. So now that we've done this part, it's time to do a greeting for the outside and finish the inside. As you can tell, there's a lot of score marks and some cutting involved, but once you got all that done, it's just so easy to put this card together. So for the greeting on the outside, I decided to use the Stitch So Sweetly dies to create this little tag. So these are the dies that come in the Stitch So Sweetly die set, and this is the one that we're using. I love the shape, and I love that it does the stitch marks all the way around. And the greeting set that I've decided to use is one from Celebration that you can get for free in January and February with a minimum purchase. So I'm going to be using 2 stamps from this set. I couldn't wait for a special occasion will go on the outside, and on the inside I think I chose I Think You're Wonderful. Okay, so, and I've decided I'm going to stamp. Let's get some scrap paper in first. I decided I'm going to stamp in Soft Succulent to bring out a bit of the green on the pattern paper. So the outside will have the I Think I Couldn't Wait for a Special Occasion. So let's go ahead and stamp that there. And then I wanted to kind of age this a little bit because there's something about just a stark white layer that I don't really like. So I decided to take out my Granny Apple Green ink pad and my blending brush and just kind of add a little bit of green to the outside of that. And then I'm gonna pull that bit of green into the center of the card. So it won't be such a stark looking white card. And that's what I get in the end. So for the inside, let's put this aside for a minute. For the inside of the card, this is where you're going to glue your 3 1/4 by 4 inch cardstock. Let me find that here. So that's going to get glued here, and this panel here, the very first little tiny score mark, that will get glued down to the inside. So go ahead and add glue to here, to your little first score marks that you've created to create that little fold. And you want that to be glued down to the inside of the card. And then this white will get glued right beside it. So let's go ahead, let's just apply some pressure and then go ahead and add glue to the back of our white. Again, this is the white that measures 3 1/4 by 4 inches. That's going to get glued on the inside of our card. And we're going to go ahead and stamp the greeting, which is I Think You're Wonderful, using Soft Succulent to match the ink that we used for the outside tag. So let's go ahead and ink up our greeting and just test it like that. And then go ahead and stamp onto the inside. And now we're going to do the rest of the card, and the layers here will ensure that we can hold the top shut. Now we're going to finish off the card, the inside. The last 2 strips of pattern paper that we cut earlier, they will go along here, and if you notice, you want to make sure that when you glue them on there, it aligns so that the image of the flowers stay intact. And what I like to do is I just like to measure and play around with them before I glue them. Now I want a bit of the Calypso coral to show on here, so I am going to now play around with the sizes and cut a little bit. Now don't cut anything from this side or this side, because then you're going to ruin the image of the flowers. So we're going to cut a little bit from the other side. Like, this is a little mini trimmer that I got. Oh gosh, I've had this for ages, so I don't even know where I got this from. Stampin' Up! Used to sell them, and I got rid of mine as a customer wanted to buy it, and I sold it, and I regretted it after. So now you're just going to play around till you're happy and with the little space of Calypso coral that you have on there. I want it to be showing a little bit more, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim a little bit more from the pattern paper on here. This is where you have carte blanche to kind of figure out whatever works best for you in the final look of your bay window card. So I am happy with how that looks now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this down first. And then this, we're going to glue here so that the image aligns, but we're going to pop it up using our Stampin' Dimensionals. And you want to add glue only to the back of this side of the pattern paper, because you want this side to be completely free, because this little piece here at the end will kind of fall and fit under there. So again, only on this side you want your Stampin' Dimensionals to go, so make sure you are gluing them close to the edge of that pattern paper, so as not to obstruct this area here, which you will need to be clear and free for your cardstock to fall into. So let's go ahead and peel off the adhesive backing on all this. And let's add that. Trying to line our cardstock so that it makes sense. And there you go. And of course this is how it's going to sit, and that's how you're going to have the actual bay window contraption work, like that. And you can actually display this once it's all done. So once that's done, we are going to go ahead and add this to the front. But I want to add some embellishments on here first before we glue it down. The first thing I want to add is the little bow that will go on here. I am using the gingham ribbon, and this is a bumblebee gingham ribbon. Make a little bow for our card. Just small. You don't want anything too big to overwhelm your front tag there, so just tiny. And then we're going to go ahead and cut those tails. There we go. And this, hang on, I want this tail a little bit shorter. This will go here, and I'm going to use the mini glue dots that come with the paper pumpkin kit. Every time I get a paper pumpkin kit, it comes with adhesive, and there's so much left over that I have all this left to work with, so that I use it for other projects. And that's my glue dot for my bow. Let's go ahead and attach that on there. And then I want to add some of these in color jewels on there to match the bumblebee bow. Let's put one in the center, and then another one on either side of that. I just want to make sure that they're straight. Just move them around till I'm happy. All right, so this will go on top of here, and I'm going to pop that up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get rid of the backing. And of course, this is going to go right here in the center of our middle panel. And, oh, someone's calling me. I'm going to ignore that phone call. And that's how the final card is going to look. Right there. There's the opening. And that's how it stays shut. And like I said, you can definitely display this on your mantle, because see how it stands really nice. So let me show you the other cards that I made using the bay window technique. And I'm also going to show you a few more cards that I made using the Flowering Rain Boots stamp set and the Rain Boots dies. So now I'm going to show you some other cards that I made using the bay window technique. This is the one we just made using patterned paper from the Flowering Fields stamp set. And this one is another exact same bay window technique using different paper from the Flowering Fields stamp set. This is the third one. As you can see, I loved that Flowering Fields Designer Series paper. All these three papers were used for these three cards. They coordinated beautifully with coordinating cardstock. This one I used with Mango Melody. This one I use Fresh Freesia. And this one, of course, that we just did was Calypso Coral. They're all the same technique and measurements. They all stand and fit beautifully if you want to display them on your mantle. And the stamp sets that I use, of course, for the greetings were from the Special Moments stamp set, which you can get for free during celebration in January and February of 2022. So some other cards that I made using the Flowering Rain Boots stamp set and the matching Rain Boots dies are this card. So I use Poppy Parade. For the base card, this paper here is again from the Flowering Fields stamp set. And I use this stamp. I stamped in Pear Pizzazz, and the tulips I stamped in Poppy Parade. And of course, these dies here, again, are from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. There are a couple of these rectangles, scallop rectangles, to create this beautiful card. This is some of our linen thread that I added. And then I also did this card. This time I used the watering can and the flowers, which I colored in. I stamped in Memento Black, and I colored in using our Stampin' Blends. The colors that I use for the background are Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, and Pale Papaya, which I stamped in the same color of ink with the watering can stamp. You can see there, you can see the watering can that I just randomly stamped all over. And again, this is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And again, some of the linen thread. And I think it worked out beautifully there. And the last card, I did a very simple, just basically one layer card, white cardstock. This again is from the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper, just a strip on the bottom. And then I used a little bit of the masking technique to stamp the pots. And again, the same flower stamp goes on top. I stamped the pots in cinnamon cider as well as the greeting. And I don't know if you can see the clouds there. I just sponged that ink on using Pool Party. And my stencil was the basic border dies. One of them is a cloud stencil, or a cloud die. So you just cut the cloud die in just any cardstock and use it as your stencil to create the clouds. So here are the three cards that I made. And here are the three bay window technique cards that I made for you to check out. And I'm going to try and fit that all in, all of them. Let's see if I can do that. So here's all the cards in one shot. Hope you can see all of that. I had fun playing with the stamp set. It really is going to be one of my favorites. I know it's winter right now and there's snow outside, but I wanted to brighten up my day by using this florally stamp set. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe button is in the bottom right hand side. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, please comment below, and if you live in Canada, I will send you a catalog and be happy to help you out in everything you need with Stampin' Up! Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you next time.